and I will select that there ugly mug now.
Hey, you're not exactly DiCaprio yourself there.
Was he a thing? Was he a thing in this time this movie came out? At the time this game came out?
Leonardo DiCaprio? Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's right. Titanic was like, oh, man. I always forget how old Titanic really is. Anyway.
Coincidentally, you say that, the quote-unquote water level in the N64 version of Gex is based on Titanic.
But there was no such water level in, there's no such swimming level in the PlayStation version?
Not here, and thank God for that. Because from what I hear, that particular level's not that great.
Oh, well.
So now that we're kind of, in the second hub, all fair in love and war, which stage should we go to next?
You know what? I'll leave it up to you chaps. We'll save the Scream TV level for a little later on, but between the new ones, Circuit Central or Kung Fu Theater, what do you feel more in the mood for?
Let me see the text on the bomb real quick. I want to see what gems there are here.
It says...
www.com.com.
www.com.
You know, with a title like that, I say go for that one.
Alright.
Yeah, I like that already. www.com.com.
No, it's .com.com.
That's true. www.com.com.
Dutch, man!
Gosh. So we either have to cross the data bus bridges or scale the launch tower.
Let's start with the bionic launch tower.
Now, I guess I should ask, even though you're selecting these hints, as if they were like, selecting the power stars at the...
Technology so fat guys can hear Rush Limbaugh.
Yes.
Is this even relevant today?
I'm gonna look at it up later. But although you're picking a particular... Although you're picking a particular hint, can you actually get the remotes in any order? Like, even the red remotes?
As a matter of fact, you can. Like, all that selection does is just give you a brief hint on where that remote can be. Like, the entire level is more or less open-ended otherwise. Honestly, I'd say even more so than Mario 64. So anyway, the main gimmick behind the circuitry levels is that there's these occasional green bits of energy. Approach one, and Gecko will become supercharged. Now you may be wondering what's so special about being so supercharged like this. Well, there's the occasional platform that you will have to cross with this power-up in order to actually leap incredible heights, at least as far as computer space is concerned.
Go! Oh, alright. And then, so is it, other than that, it's really more so for powering those jump pads?
Yes.
Okay.
More or less.
But do we also get that same invincibility like we did with the firepower?
We do not. We are still pretty much, vulnerable little geckos. And yeah, by this point forward, I'm actually not going to put too much of a priority towards the collectibles, because levels like these can really hammer it home that unless you decide to, bite the bullet and keep trying to, destroy all the mooks along the way, you have to pretty much comb the entire level just to get all the collectibles.
Which is fine.
Well, that gives you incentive to admire the level design.
Which, I mean, wouldn't be so bad if, this isn't the kind of game where the red remotes automatically take you back to the hub once you grab them.
Fair.
Oh no. With any collectathon, I think if I was going to ask for any quality of life improvement, it would be, that's why I still would find Banjo-Kazooie a better collectathon to go back to and play on the casual than even Mario 64, because I love Mario 64, but I love being able to not get kicked out of the stage. But then we have Mario 64, what was it, DX? For that
Plus.
Which
does give you the option to pretty much keep playing the level even after you grab the star.
Which I like that.
Which I do like that. And I will say, though, to this game's credit, I think A Hat in Time actually did a pretty good job of keeping to what Mario 64 did beforehand, but actually not making it seem so, iffy.
Yeah.
Every single mission in that game, more or less, is, hard-coded to whatever mission you pick.
Right, no, and I think that's fair. Like, for something like Mario 64, I guess what would make it annoying is if you had to make the same, say it with the case of tall Tick-Tock Clock or Tall Mountain, being that you're basically being asked to replay the exact same level over and over and over again to reach different points.
Yeah.
That could get a little tedious, whereas like you said with Hat in Time, they really they usually keep it hard focused to the one level, and that there's no risk of basically replaying the same thing over and over.
Right.
And, like, even if you do have to replay the same area again, they do enough to make it feel a little bit more diverse from the last time you've been there.
Right, be a different weather condition, different stage condition.
Or, you know, the one time you literally turned into a mud zombie.
That was a fun that was a fun one. I guess in that case, then the only real I guess in that case, then I guess the worst offenders of that would be whenever you find those bonus time pieces that lead you to the cool like whale clock sanctuary or whatever it's called.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know, the bonus rooms with easily some of the best bonus theme music I've heard.
Oh, their music. It's so good. That is that is easily my favorite track out of the game. Is just how like serene and that was easy. Just stuck the landing.
I love how whenever it doesn't even have to be a super high like altitude, but if you jump off a platform and you know land on a platform that's a little higher than your usual jumping range, he just fucking pratfalls, and I love that.
No, I just love that. I love it's like, man, he's pathetic. Our hero, everyone. I see. Okay, we have to get that energy from below and just race it and book it up.
Yeah, and the best part is I do believe this game Gex does not suffer from fall damage either. So
good.
Oh, cool! We get to enjoy it to our heart's content.
Pretty much, and even better is that you're not completely gimped when it does happen either. Like honestly, it's like one of those it happens and then you quickly brush it off, and it's like,
yeah, as it should be.
You saw nothing.
Nailed it the first time. They suspect nothing.
Oh boy, there you go.
But yeah, no, we still would need another 29 of these things.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna make too much of a big stink about it because you've more or less seen how the process works.
Yeah, I know. I mean, from this point forward, I mean, yeah, you understand what you would have to do. We have a bonus save file on standby for that.
Let's just pretend that when it comes down to it, like, by the time we're done with this playthrough, we're gonna have every remote we absolutely need, even though it's like, no, you're not stupid. You're still missing all the reward stuff. It's like, you really want me to waste all this recording time just getting all those?
Actually, since we bring that up, because I was noticing. At least in terms of trying to get here, like we only need like a few more. Okay, we just have to jump over there. I guess I was gonna ask, like, I wonder how many red remotes you actually need to beat the game anyway.
Like an all-nighter at Richard Simmons' house.
This does not.
This absolutely does not. This is the.
Actually, wait.
If you picked up.
Now let's stop and think about it. Considering he was pretty prominent in the 80s and 90s, this aesthetic wouldn't be ill-fitting for one of his fitness videos.
Not to mention this.
I could see him.
Not to mention that was a take that he said when we were fighting Rez, and this does look like a place that Rez would have a slumber party in.
I forgot. So, but that was a line that they redid for this game. You mentioned. So
it either redid or they just reused because it definitely sounds the same as it did last time.
That's what it sounded like to me. Yeah. Come on, something better than just health. What's the point of this?
Just for the health.
Just for the health of it.
No, it's not. Nice one.
That sounds like a Gex line. Hype. Did you write for this?
I don't think I was. What year did this game come out again?
98.
I would have been 6 by then.
You're older than me. I don't know what work you were up to.
I'm not that much older than you.
Nah,
How old was Jimmy Neutron when he officially became a boy genius?
Yes.
I mean, I guess that's like the kind of like brain teaser. That's like those puzzles where it's like, hey, you have a basket. You have a basket that has 10 apples in it, and you take the apples out of the basket. How many apples do you have?
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
You both fail. This isn't even algebra class. This is world histories.
Oh. I should have known. I should have known by the green gecko. That was the clear sign that something was up. It was at that moment that I soon knew. How could I have been in high school? I was almost 28 years old, and that's when the dreams started taking a turn for the worse.
Okay, I feel like I'm doing something wrong here because I mean,
I can only guess by my insane ramblings that something has gone awry.
Possibly.
So is this the room that we need to be in order to connect those buses?
Yes.
Okay, so...
Oh!
So when... Okay, so...
Try doing that when you're, like, a little closer to the edge.
Oh, you know what?
Well,
no,
like,
no.
So if you go up the left
I just
side...
realized, yeah, I think I may have goofed. I should have taken this side.
Right, no, so I get this part. So then, if you bounce up here, maybe... Oh, okay, there it is.
Ow,
here are the
oops.
buses. We found it,
Ladies and gentlemen, despite my idiocy earlier, that right there was an example of this game's wonky camera at work.
I'm assuming that what happens in those instances is it's the unfortunate bit of you're holding one direction, but suddenly the input leads to a different direction because of which way the camera was facing.
Pretty much. I guess if it means anything, you can also press the triangle button in order to zoom out or zoom in the camera to your preference. Though that being said, when you're zoomed out, it definitely does lead to certain areas feeling basically suffering a little bit of slowdown.
Oh, okay, good.
Now, if it means anything, falling down in this whole obstacle course here does not automatically mean you get axed. Instead, it just warps you straight back to the very beginning of this course.
Careful, careful, careful. Good.
Observe.
Oh, not good.
Okay,
then.
Huh.
I guess as you were falling forward, you reached just enough forward to hit that checkpoint.
Yay, primitive programming.
We'll call that speed tech or just showing off. I will say right now.
Realize you've been flying all over me this whole time.
Oh,
I thought that was
How
like
long has that fly been
like
flying around me?
Oh, for a while.
boy.
I thought it was like an option, like radius, like it was just like a bonus power. But
I just wasn't paying attention.
Fair, Lord knows. But I was gonna also say that I will give it this that I'm gonna have to go back to Gex 3 and see how it compares. But the texture work in this game is pretty nice, like the way these levels look like.
It's not bad. I mean, there's certain areas that could be better than others, but and I mean, granted. This, as far as 3D platformers on the PlayStation are concerned, this isn't really the top tier example of that. But for what it was able to get away with back then, it does its job just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just wish the camera was better. That maybe the controls were, or if anything, also like Gex running around as he does, like you could feel a little more
tighter.
You gotta change your lint filter.
Yes. Now then, where was I?
Well, Matrix sounds, first off. No, not Matrix. That's the Bionic Woman.
Huh.
Yep, that was indeed a show.
I mean, I've heard of this... ouch. You saw nothing. I've definitely heard of the $6 Million Man, but I don't think I've ever heard of Bionic Woman.
Well, I think that sound... Like, I know it's famous for that particular sound effect, but I think the sound is more familiar with people than the show that originated the sound. You know, like when you're in slow motion, the whole, like...
Oh, well, that whenever I think of that, I always thought of, like, cheesy 80s superhero, like, flicks. Like a it always kind of reminded me of, like, a Batman, like, an Adam West Batman kind of, like, sound.
I don't think they even had that in Adam West, because, like, I think Bionic Woman was at least...
Ow.
Oh, boy. I want to say Bionic Woman was at least, like, maybe late 70s? Let me look that up.
Okay. I never watched, like, I'm trying to think of, like, the oldest, like, TV shows I've watched. Like, okay, so, I know off the top of my head that Real Talk, we can power this up.
Bingo.
Is that, I remember that off the top of my head.
Okay, here it is.
The ones
Sorry, just kidding.
Oh?
The Bionic Woman, 1976. So I was right about it being late 70s.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The series is...
Yeah, in terms of, like, the... Okay.
Sorry, it's just that... The series is based on the adventures of Jamie Summers, who almost dies while skydiving. She's rebuilt bionically, just like her former fiancé, Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man himself.
Oh, so it's a spin-off.
Oh, so it's a spin... Oh. Wow. But just thinking that out loud, that, like, the freaking, like... The coincidences that have to take place for them to be like, hey... You guys still have that surgery of the guy who made somebody into a mechanized cyborg superhero? Yeah? Well, we need him again. And he's just sitting there on his, like, $7 billion paycheck going, they actually want to pay it again?
Let me see.
I mean, think of how much $6 million was back in those days.
Yeah.
And apparently it lasted 3 seasons.
Huh. Not too shabby, all things considered. Alright, with that all said, we're pretty much done with Circuit Central.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess it's time for some Chinese food.
Let's see.
With a little hint of Japanese on the occasion.
Welcome to Mao Zedong.
It's pretty much just Asian import theater, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, one last thing, then I'll drop the subject. Apparently, they made a reboot of Bionic Woman back in 2007. It only lasted 1 season, though, with only 8 episodes.
White courtesy phone. Akira to white courtesy phone.
Ha. But, and then, thinking off the top of my head, the earliest shows I ever watched were... I remembered someone showing me some of Flipper, long time ago. I watched the... Wow.
Yeah.
This game probably could not be made anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely not.
Black Belt sold here.
Crazy
You don't
Quains.
burn them.
Oh. Oh.
And then we got ninjas. It's like...
Ninjas with what looked like just a straight up photo, like a photo of a dude's face for the face.
Yeah?
Oh,
Ow. Rude.
seriously.
But yeah, no, and then I remember watching a lot of the old Johnny Quest.
Right.
I vaguely remember seeing like bits and pieces of that, and this also the new adventures that came out in the 90s.
Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, like, as far as old shows for me, not counting animated stuff, in terms of live action stuff, because I know my mom and stepdad love watching like a bunch of older shows. Like, my stepdad loves watching MASH because he used to be in the Air Force.
Uh-huh.
And Get Smart's always a classic for me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Was that the one with?
That's
was that the one with Rowan Atkinson?
No, you're thinking of. If you're talking about the new movie, if you're talking about the movie based on the show itself had Don Adams in it, and the movie.
I will say real quick, that one's a pretty tricky one to find.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Oh yeah, because yeah. Honestly, I didn't even think you could walk on this slope very well. You could like constantly sliding. Or...
The only giveaway is that obviously there's all those doors we've been able to break throughout the whole thing, which pretty much shows that you can jump on there. It's just a matter of how.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, but yeah, the Get Smart thing.
But yeah, like it was originally a television series that had Don Adams, and I think it holds up pretty well in spite of it. It's like it definitely shows its age, but I think there's enough wit and charm to it to where you can still get away with watching it nowadays, even if there are like 1 or 2 like stereotypes that were a little bit easier to get away with back then.
Right.
And there was also like a movie based on it back in the late 2000s. I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
Food fight in the Bronx.
that right there already sounds like a murder in the making.
Yeah.
Mao don't know dung.
Who's Mao?
He was a leader of China. This is becoming more and more understandable why I don't know if they were going to remake this unless they do
this is definitely the point where you could say that the game has not aged gracefully.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't blame Gex for all of that. Like,
I can blame him for some of it.
But I'm gonna be honest, say that no, like the culture did. Like, I remember a lot. I remember a lot of shows that had like, oh, now it's the kung fu episode. Now it's the Chinese like the Chinese relative from out of the country comes and has to help out, basically pull off Karate Kid over and over again episode. And oh, hang on, what do we do here?
We use a cannon to blow up to bang on the gongs. Oh, and I guess also you can do this too if you want.
That would help.
Hey.
No real point to do that, but you know I like to throw my cannonballs around every now and again.
It's the ancient martial art technique of the dramatic exit.
Pretty much.
I will say that I feel like that's something you really shouldn't be saying publicly, James. We don't want to know what you do with the cannonballs.
Shush. Let's find out what. Oh, wait, we just went a big circle.
Ah!
What was that? I forgot exactly what we did here. But I know for a fact that we have a climbable wall here, so there has to be new things to do here. The Great Wall, and so yeah.
I hear it. I hear it's not even that big.
Do we ever even meet Crazy
Lizards
Queen?
suck.
If only I could use my tail to literally wipe that smug graffiti off the wall.
If only there was a recorded reaction to that.
I know. I am curious. Oh shush! I am curious if there was ever, especially given the success that sorry, I cannot talk. Given that there was enough success to spawn numerous sequels, and I say numerous because I have to include the multiple handheld games they made as well, and especially given the heavy emphasis on media and television, did you think they ever tried making a Gex TV show?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was ever a consideration.
Yeah, I was surprised that I never did.
Just given like the theming, given like how big of a point it makes in the plot. Also, this is a much larger level than I thought.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this is probably one of the beefier levels in the game.
Now we have to collect masks.
Yep. I mean, we're only just crossing like one of the buildings that we saw like at the very beginning of the level.
Also, that was some breakneck speed that you were sliding down that pole.
Now get him.
Also, it was right around here where I actually learned about the that kung fu kick jump. Like I've been showing off throughout the whole game, just because it
really does help.
I mean, it feels appropriate given the theme.
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. Which I guess that's something that I wish that, and I forget if Gex 3 even does this graceful. Is I wonder if they would ever do something where you actually learn new moves, because I guess similar to Gex 1, like it. Not to say that it becomes uninteresting, but that they don't really pull any secret tricks out of their sleeves the further you go into these levels. It's what your moveset, the moveset you have coming out of the gates is the moveset you have till the end of the game.
Yeah, I don't know if Deep Cover Gecko does that, considering that. Actually, why? Yeah,
wait.
Oh yeah, I would say my guess is that they don't let you jump on it halfway, so you have to be at the very start, and then they'll let you go. Yeah, back to Deep Cover Gecko.
I don't know if Deep Cover Gecko does that or not. I know this game, well, obviously this game doesn't, considering this was before, unlockable movesets and 3D platformers became more mainstream.
Right. It's cool. It's fun. I very much enjoy Metroidvanias for that aspect of, like, growing stronger as you play them.
Now I gotta be careful, because I've literally only got 1 foot to my name.
Yeah.
Easy does it. Oh, jeez. And it looks like they have some invincibility frames after taking damage.
Yeah.
Right, one at a time.
I don't need any more Kabuki masks, thanks.
I need health. I need a fly. Oh, jeez.
Also, what are all these Kabuki masks doing here? Why are there ninjas here? I thought this was supposed to be based on Chinatown.
That is true. This is absolutely not what Chinatown reminds me. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Gex, now's not the time for your snappy, iconic, unique one-liners.
There's another one.
So I once again came back to the media dimension when all of a sudden the ninjas attacked. And then I died. The end.
Because it stopped you.
At least you got the silver remote.
I'm not gonna put that blame on you. I'm not gonna put that blame on you. Like, the game stopped you in place in order to give you that remote.
Ow.
Ow. Rude.
What? Come on.
He was just saying "chop, baby."
Oh right.
Don't.
You know the way that Mr. Mike Myers does.
A classic move. Which, apart from that and Shrek and Cat in the Hat, I know no other role I've ever seen Mike Myers in.
Same. I only know him for those 3 roles specifically.
Well, there's also Wayne from Wayne's World.
I never watched that.
Me neither.
Is it any good?
The first one, I think, is a classic. The second one has a few good jokes, but I'm going back and forth on whether or not it's as good as the first.
Fair enough. Oh boy.
All right. On that note, we have come to our mission end because here's the dragon.
Oh boy!
Fucking heck, man!
Health.
Dragon.
What you?
So this right here is a little on the tedious side. You literally have to blow up that dragon's segments with the cannon.
What?
Oh boy!
But they're so small.
I mean, it doesn't look too hard.
Thankfully, you can hit him anywhere and it will count, but he takes a lot of hits. And on top of that, the streams of fire he spews out are pretty long.
Oh boy.
Okay, and try to meet him halfway, and go. Nice.
Well, good thing the camera can turn around pretty quickly.
Oh, careful.
Yeah. You can even do a little quick snap if you decide to rapidly press the camera buttons.
That's good. It does look like that the cannon can also shield you from some of the fire.
Not entirely.
Okay.
I've had at least one case where he literally was able to get me despite
Hey!
the fact that he was literally hiding behind the cannon.
Okay. One down, one remote to go.
Yeah, don't worry, this is only some of these levels will thankfully only make us go through get 2 of them. Also, hello, Buddhist Gex.
Hello.
That definitely doesn't belong to Japan.
You mean China?
China.
It's tail time.
Well, I mean, granted, are you allowed to practice Buddhism in China?
I know that I'm allowed to do the do.
Fair. I won't judge.